Welcome to the DSQ podcast with Blake Lawson and Dakota Reynolds.
All right, everybody, to spare you the long, boring, drawn-out Monaco Grand Prix, we're going to have a short, boring DSQ podcast this week.
Let's go.
That's not a front. We're just boring in general. Not any particular thing.
Especially me. I'm literally the boring one. I do all the boring stuff. So
I did the sleep stuff.
if you wanna catch up on an extra 10 minutes of sleep whenever it's my turn, you can take a nap.
We will play a blaring 60 decibel alarm at the end, just to keep you awake. I wish I need one during the race, because maybe a little bit of manifestation. I was literally not even excited for this weekend, and sure enough.
Yeah. I mean, it's Monaco.
It's Monaco. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to DSQ. We will actually keep this episode kind of short, and earlier than normal-ish, kind of, because FAA actually kind of released some stuff. It's not like we were worried about plankware. It's not like we were worried about underweight. Anyway. Checking I'm not missing anything. Yeah, Monaco. It's like I don't think they changed anything in the track. It's Monaco. They make it interesting.
They did change a couple of things. They resurfaced from turn 12 to turn 3. So the corner that happens after the Nouvelle chicane all the way up to... If you're watching at home, you know what fucking turn 3 is. It's a really awkward left-hander that immediately afterwards you have to slam on the brakes or else you'll find yourself in the middle of a fucking guardrail. Like Grosjean. Let's say Esteban Ocon. Wrong era of Haas.
Yeah. Wrong French driver. Wrong former Alpine driver.
Then there was also like a lot of painted the flat section of curb and something omitted. I didn't understand it. My sleep-addled brain was not having it, so I just skipped over it. There was a lot of that. It was literally all those and then the resurfacing, and that's it.
Yep. Only the pre-race thing, I guess there was one special livery. It was McLaren. I thought it was stupid. Ooh, a circle. And we're going to tilt the numbers to a 39-degree angle.
Very daring today.
Yes. Wow.
It's just, it looks like every other special Monaco livery.
Lots of white race suits.
Yeah.
The podium was white race suits. Spoiler.
Bunch of white racist stuff on the podium.
Yes. Anyway. Was it all circuit-specific upgrades?
It was almost all circuit-specific. So, Haas brought some local load and track-specific stuff. Red Bull brought some suspension and front corner reliability stuff, as well as circuit-specific.
I hate it when my right corner doesn't work.
Right. Everybody else, except Mercedes, apparently, had circuit-specific. Mercedes didn't submit anything.
No.
So that explains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting something that was like, it's a good one. A car is always good.
Yeah.
That's more color science, not total wolf, whatever.
Yeah, no. So mostly track-specific stuff for Monaco, because you got to change the steering column and all that sort of shit for this place. The suspension's got to be different. It's a whole thing. There's people that can go into more depth about it than I. Yeah.
Don't care.
Don't care enough.
Too much.
Fuck this race.
Yeah.
Power units. Max took a new turbocharger, MGUH, and exhaust. Franco took a new MGUK and exhaust, and joining those two with exhausts are both Ferraris, so Lewis and Charles, as my voice tries to give out. Yuki and Isaac.
Whole lot of exhaust. Also joining exhaust. Everybody watching.
Yes.
We don't want to rag on about this race.
We are
going
gonna
to
beat this horse
going
dead.
to, yeah. Because there was nothing else to do. There's the horse and a bat. What else is there to do? All right, let's get into the practices. No FP1 rookies at Monaco. I guess that's probably. I mean, given what happened in F2, maybe a good call.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing of the weekend, at Monaco, there was of course the weenie race at the Indy 500, which is infinitely more interesting than this weekend. But yeah, but your free practice one, not a good start for hometown hero Chuck Leclerc. Locks up immediately. Basically has to take a run off. And then shortly after that, Lance Stroll, the not superstar of the weekend, gets in his way, causes a lot of shit. That's a one place grid drop already out the bat for Lance Stroll. Hopefully he won't do anything more of those. Liam hates Lewis also, being a shithead to Lewis. Later, Lewis proving, I guess, Liam right by taking the curb and getting some decent air, doing some Rocket League. Session overall just messy, just walls and runoffs and locks and and not just the true rookies, like a lot of we'll say secondary rookie category of Liam and Cola. I know I say Cola.
Yeah.
I know it's Cola. I was like, yeah, but that sounds weird if I say Cola. Franco. Yeah. But they had issues. True rookies had issues. Fernando had issues. Lewis had issues. Charles had issues.
Charles always has issues.
Yeah.
It's Monaco. There's 3 things that you can anticipate. 1, there's going to be a whole bunch of rich people there. 2, Charles is going to have bad luck. And 3, Lance Stroll is going to be a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Also, if there was a cut there, I may have hit my mic with my headphone. That probably didn't sound great on there. Well, we'll see. Yeah. Your free practice 2. Couple more red flags. Isaac pretty fast hits that little sticky out bit that everybody hits. He gets a puncture. Gets that back to the garage. It does have to red flag the session, though. Oscar Piastri what is turn 1? I don't know. Here's wall. So he loses a front wing, no harm, no foul. Carlos, god dang. Charles Leclerc picks up somebody's mail and promptly destroys it in his front wing. So you're good luck getting that refund from Amazon. Jeff was there though, so.
Oh yeah, no, Jeff was definitely there.
Even though it is Charles Leclerc's home race, we do have I Am Stupid Part 2 or Part 3. I think there was one last year, but I think it was Charles. So here's the actual not Charles successor. Isaac he clips again. Clips a wall again. Another puncture, another roundabout. So I am stupid. I am just an idiot. Or something to that effect. You probably heard the clip. Yes. And then they did not actually. I knew about this before watching the highlights, but they did not show it in any of the highlights. Carlos goes really slow during the red flag. I believe it would have been the one for Oscar. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the timestamp on the thing. Not really a whole lot of place for Ollie to go, but it is a red flag on the mark before him. So I guess as a makeup to double down, makeup call, that's actually doubling down on fuck Ollie. They say, nope, you passed under red flag. I don't know, it seemed debatable, but safety issue. They're not going to mess around with it. He gets a 10-place drop. And also during that red flag, Carlos and Franco, some overtaking maybe happened there as well, but they do not have anything. No grid drops, no reprimands, nothing for that. Yeah. Woo. And then your third and final practice. Out pretty quick, Nico almost hits the wall, and there were, of course, a lot of your AWS-sponsored too close, super close, 0 centimeter graphics going on. This was not that. This was just him getting super close. And then Isaac, as we remember, we did talk about Isaac last season at Monaco. He had that nice little moment avoiding a Japanese driver in the tunnel. And so to keep up the streak in P3, Isaac does a quick little moment to avoid Yuki in the tunnel. Not nearly near a stop, just caught him. Isaac going more fast. This was definitely not Yuki's problem. But still got it. He still got those tunnel reflexes. Being an RB driver has not killed him entirely yet. The last thing there is Lewis has just a little snap towards the end of the session. That's the red flag. That's the end of your practice. Like I said, everybody just having messy sessions.
Mm-hmm. Monaco's hard.
Yes.
Having played it in, I think, 4 different F1 games, Monaco's hard. I usually skip the weekend. I hate it. It's awful.
Gets COVID every Monaco. Can't race. Pulls in Nico Hulkenberg to take over. That's a 2022 Aston Martin reference. Seb. Poor Seb.
We miss you, Seb.
We all miss Seb. All right. Yep. Qualifying.
Quali.
So this is your main exciting quote part. Like, this is your race. Might as well not have the race on Sunday, let's be honest. It's all matters on Saturday with your quali. Your bottom. Let's just get into it. Yeah, because it's in there. Just your bottom 20. Just get through it. And then I will read this prior to any penalties or grid drops. Classification: P20, Franco Colapinto. P19, Lance Stroll. P18, Pierre Gasly. Ollie Behrman, P17, and Gabriel Bortoleto in P16. Now, there was some more impeding. Who you couldn't tell by the subtle foreshadowing of, or just if you know Lance Stroll's quote driving style. He's going to impede Pierre Gasly. I don't think that's right. Pretty sure it's Charles Leclerc. Don't know what that note is. So he picks up another 3-place grid. Good job, Stroll. You're 2 for 2 on penalty days. Let's see if you can carry it on. And then Lewis on Max, giving us some early 2021 vibes, or mid-2021 vibes. Just a little bit. Bad radio call from the clowns on the Ferrari pit wall. He's slowing down. Oh, wait, no, he's not. Okay, yes, he is. And then he's on Max, and then he's on Lewis's side mirror. But you have to punish the car, so that means Lewis gets the 3-place grid drop. That is skipping. That what happened in Q1, but obviously, he didn't get out in Q1. So, well, Stroll did, but not Lewis. Yeah, I really put Lance and Gasly. I know it was Charles, unless Charles was the first one and Gasly was the third one. I couldn't remember, or the other one. Yeah, never mind. That's what it was. Sorry, I got him confused. Lance Stroll, if you just impede once, I don't have to, remember which one it is every time. What does happen? We need to know. And then at the end, going through, but at the end of Q1, Kimi also just clips that little piece at that chicane that everybody fucking hates, but it's still there. That brings up the red flag at the end of the session. Doesn't really ruin anybody's thing, just unfortunately, his run for Q2, which your Q2 classification is surprising. P15, Kimi Antonelli didn't get to run because of the incident in Q1. Next is your golden boy, not yours, but everybody's. Mr. Weekend here, foreshadowing for him being a dick in the race. Does nothing, gets P14. George Russell, his engine doing nothing in the tunnel. And giving out pretty early into the session, so really both Mercedes were out. Basically in Q2 because neither of them really got some running in. Shout out to the Monaco, the Monaco marshals 2 sets to get that car out. Had to run the first and then swap it off after the tunnel. Yeah. $60 million in fines for touching the rear of the car, though.
They can afford it. They live in Monaco.
Yeah. Your top 3 of Q2 is Hulkenberg, Sonoda, boo, and Carlos Sainz. Not boo Sonoda, boo the placement. Yeah, kind of sucks. I don't know what happened there, and it doesn't get better. Yay, sadness.
Hey, both Williams out-qualifying both Mercedes.
Woo. Speaking of that, your top 10 in qualifying is Alexander Albon. Liam Lawson, why are you here?
What the fuck a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas?
Yep. P8 is Esteban. P7, Fernando Alonso. P6 in a season best, Isaac Hadjar. P5, Max, it was different this time for Stappen. P4, Lewis, of course, pending a 3-place grid penalty. Oscar Piastri, Charles Leclerc with just an incredible lap that nobody should be able to beat, and it's fucking Lando Norris.
Setting a new track record.
Cool. Anyway. Man. Yeah, it should have been Charles. I'm mad. My predictions are off. My hopes are off. The entire Tifosi is disappointed. The entire population of the Principality is disappointed, and my day is ruined. Anyway, we got a race, but first, over to Blake with the Parc Ferme.
The Parc Ferme changes and upgrades and updates and all the other stuff and things. Things of note, 4 different people had to change out their Formula One media microphone. Alex, Carlos, both of them from Williams, and then Oscar from McLaren and Lewis from Ferrari. And George just had to plug in his old power unit.
Yep.
Whole thing. Just
yep.
The previous one just dead.
All right, that's a dud. Let's put that over there. That should have been an i3, not an i7. Got it. I did actually have a note on the thing of microphones, as I thought Max's sounded way clearer in the first practices, but they did not clarify to the race. It's just as normal in the race.
Probably just placement.
Yeah. And then, so it wasn't on the Parc Ferme, but it did happen. It was something that was changed. It was noted in the technical checks at the end of the race.
Yes.
Was new water bag for
New drink bag.
Lando Norris. Must be the water.
Must be the water.
Didn't want he must be the water situation, so they swapped that out like 5 minutes before the race started. So that was pretty tight. All right, let's get on to the historic and grand Monaco Prix. Before the session even started, Ollie Behrman, I actually didn't see it, nor did I go look it up. I'll be honest, I kind of took a nap, and now we're pretty much went straight into recording. But yeah, Ollie, before, I'm assuming during recon laps, is the only thing that makes sense. Unsafe release, or unsafe conditions, excuse me. Again, I don't know exactly what happened, so.
So according to the document, which I glossed over, they left fucking cooling fan on.
Oh, the old Alex Albon.
The old Alex
Brazil?
Albon. He had to pull
Late
over
last
in the
season.
fast lane. The engineer went and grabbed it, removed it, and then continued on.
Got it.
€5,000 fine for Haas.
No. However will they afford?
Well, last year that might have actually been a pressing question.
Yeah.
This year, they might be doing better.
Yep. Anyway, all right. And in true Monaco fashion, it starts. I'm trying to say the positive. It was a race. It started.
It did start.
And Lando Norris, known lap 1 bottler, did not do it this time.
Yeah. Congrats. Good job.
Much to my displeasure. He did not fuck up the first lap. I guess we did not mention it. We've mentioned it previously in episodes. The mandatory 2-stop for this race, having to use 3 different sets of tires, but only still the same 2 compounds. So you can slap on a hard, slap on a medium. You can't slap on the same hard. It's got to go either another hard or another medium, or soft if you're feeling stupid. Unless you're Nico, who had him last for 26 laps
Yeah,
for some reason.
it was insane.
But yeah, so lots of strategy of everybody's going to peel in and get the first one out of the way. Kind of. Because in your first lap, Gabby B.
So first off, pulls off one of the only on-track overtaking moves in the race.
On Kimi Antonelli.
In a Mercedes.
Pretty good. Most
And
impressive. And
then
there's
he finds
the second half.
Armco barrier.
Yeah. And then Kimi just switches it back because it's lap 1 in Monaco, and he can easily do that. And just Gabriella tries to hold on just a little too long and ends up in the what I'm going to call the Sergio Perez spot for reasons if you remember 2023.
That is indeed the Sergio Perez spot. The turn or the exit just outside of Portier, I believe it's pronounced. It's turn 8.
Yeah. Right before the tunnel.
Right before the tunnel.
It's not a secret. It's right there. You can see it pretty clearly. It's quite prominent in the race, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, little wall there. Basically, kind of the same thing Oscar had in early practice. Just square, fairly square against the barrier. Everybody does, of course, broadcast keeps up with the main race. Everybody thought he was gone, but he does manage to get that thing going. Minor debris, really, actually. Could have been a lot worse. He still had most of his front wing, if I recall correctly. Yeah, he makes it back. But that does trigger a good old VSC. So 4 drivers hop into the pit lane to get one of their stops out of the way. I remember it was Yuki. I remember it was Ollie. I remember it was, obviously, Bortoletto to get the new wing as well. Who's the other one?
Pierre.
Gasly.
Yeah, Pierre. Hopping into the pits. Because, you never know when you might need to make another stop.
Oh, no. Yep, so that's that. I think Yuki was the only one. Yuki started on softs, yes?
Yes. Yuki's the only one who started on softs.
He did ditch those immediately.
Which, smart.
Yes. But yes, all right. Anyway, VSC lasts what? Not as long.
Until almost the end of lap 4.
Okay. So a lot faster than the one last week that took 16 metric business years.
Yeah.
Then Pierre Gasly. I know. Hey, bud. Let's have a talk here. I know you love Yuki. I love Yuki too. You don't get to slam behind him in the middle of the race. But yeah, out of the tunnel into the I keep just saying the chicane.
So that one is the Nouvelle chicane.
It is the Nouvelle chicane.
There's the Nouvelle chicane, and then there's the swimming pool chicane,
which is further down the same straight, basically.
Nouvelle is directly outside of, directly out of the tunnel, and is just a runoff area, and the swimming pool is
the swimming pool.
The swimming pool.
It has a runoff. You're just definitely not resuming your race.
Exactly.
Must be the water. Makes sense. That's why Charles. Okay. But yeah, Gasly claiming brake failure. Some skepticism I agree with from the F1 TV crew. It's like, well, you still kind of kept control. If you're that with no braking, you would have slammed a little more solidly, a little more straight, and not lost that much momentum. But yeah, so that does not end his race, or it does end his race.
It does technically end his race.
He does make it back to the pits.
It's like he drives a tricycle back to the pits and ends his race there.
Yeah, leaving some debris by the swimming pool chicane, I believe that one is for sure. Does make it back to the pit. That we said Williams pit box.
Yeah.
So they have to put a new nose on just to get it on, some stands to bring it back down. That we said, yeah, the push, pull, and other rods are all snapped off. So it is the end of Pierre Gasly's race. It is noted, just a reprimand of, hey, don't do that. We know you love Yuki, but don't do that. Little bit of that debris in the like I said, I'm pretty sure it is a swimming pool section. If it's the chicane, it's somewhere around in that area.
There was some there, and then the whole ass front wing was over still by the Nouvelle chicane, by the exit of this turn 11.
Yeah, they did never have any intervention on this.
Yeah, no, it was all just double yellows in that section, and then no safety car, no VSC, just keep racing, boys.
It's like, hey, there's debris here. Which, if I was a marshal to go get that sizable piece of, F1 front wing, I'd be like, I'll take a VSC, please. But, yeah, that being said, no intervention. So Max was definitely having some looks at Oscar right here. Kind of pissing Oscar off, as we heard, but, I guess them's the rules. So, just to, peek behind the curtain, there is actually a curtain right here. It's funny because it's a visual gag on a audio-only podcast. The lap-by-lap tracker we have in our amazing books, link in description, not an ad, but they're just good, mostly blank.
Yeah.
So,
I was like, my description for the events for Gasly's incident started lap 8 when it happened, and I wrote it down to lap 11. There is nothing else in my book until lap 38. Yeah.
It's like only one I have is Oscar lap 21. Really bad pit stop from McLaren. Really kind of compromised it as much as your race can be compromised in Monaco, where you're not really going to have that many overtaking or undertaking. The Undertaker shows up, takes the car, throws it into the river, into the ocean.
Throws it off a Hell in the Cell.
Yeah. Dwayne Johnson's actually here. I thought he retired. But yeah. Anyway, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, much like any of this. And then, lap 38. The unluckiest driver in the world, Fernando Alonso.
No. The unluckiest driver in the fucking world.
Oh, correct. His PU decides it wants to go home, like the rest of us, and just gives up. A little bit of yellow. I said yellow. White and yellow, a little bit. Smoke.
Doesn't quite make it back to the pits. Has to park up at Raskas, which is turn 18. That's the one that's like literally just before the pits. Like if his power unit would have kept going long enough for him to have some drive, he could have made the turn and then made the second harder turn to get into the pits. But it was just dead, so he just drifted into the runoff.
No intervention required here either. Which is surprising because I figured they still need, to move some barriers or something. But
yeah.
Nope. I don't know. That one is like, okay, but what if somebody else needs to use the runoff that's there for a reason, and you're just like, you have marshals just out with no caution? I don't know. Maybe there was some still yellows in the actual runoff. That's like
I think they did move that. They moved the vehicle. They kept it yellow in that area for a second, just long enough to get it behind barriers, and then I think they moved it to the other runoff that leads basically to the start-finish straight.
That makes sense. And that is everything. At least it should be if you're a rule-following racer. However, if you're a frustrated George Russell, who's behind Alex Albon and has, I think as DC said, I think he said this to another driver, but it's pretty much true for everybody because it's Monaco. Probably has the back end of that thing memorized. Besides that, the Nouvelle chicane is optional and admitted it on radio that he did it on purpose. So
that was the
frustrating,
awful part of it. It's like you probably could have got away with it if you were just like, well, we'll take our chances or whatever. But when you were like, I'll just take the 5-second penalty.
If I was like. Are you sure about that?
Sure that it's a 5-second penalty? Because we went over this in the driver briefing. We said specifically, hey, we're going to be keeping an extra eye on this. Don't fucking cut this intentionally. What did you fucking do? You cut it intentionally. So they're going to slap him with a drive-through.
Yep. And we didn't want to really get into the pit stops, obviously. Basically half the grid had their 2 already, and then there was a couple ones, and then Mercedes, who's done jack and shit. So he has to basically take 3 because he does his drive-through.
Yep.
And then his required 2 stops. Of note, Kimi did also cut, but it was accidental, actually. Making avoidance removers with, I believe, Franco again.
And he did end up giving that one back.
He did give the place back. So, Kimi, the correct way to cut the chicane. George, the wrong way to cut through the chicane. Joker laps from the Joker. But yeah, does nothing, gets a 20-second drive-through penalty. George Russell. And that's pretty much it.
That's what I have. Yep.
That's Monaco.
That happened lap 50.
Yep.
I have nothing for the rest of the race for the other 28 laps.
Of course, Max was in the lead of the race for a lot of the time, just hoping,
Red
there
flag,
would be
red flag, red
something,
flag.
But
George Russell sent it up the ass of Alex Albon.
yep. George just crashes into the FIA office just out of spite. I mean, there's the Photoshop picture out there. It would make a lot of sense. He would fucking do it again. Basically, doesn't work out for Max, so he slides back down in his starting position because it's Monaco and this Saturday decides everything basically. God, man, we really was one Charles to get that overtake, but it's Monaco.
It's Monaco. Passing is almost non-existent.
And not to mention, we'll go over in the rundown of the lapping situation. So, but yeah. Your winner is his first win, Little Lando Norris, now currently being sued by Julian Palmer for stealing his generic term of Monaco baby.
Stupid.
So
yeah, with that and the end of the race comes the rundown. Of course, as we said, your winner and gaining and losing no places, Lando Norris, timing in at 1 hour, 40 minutes, and 33.843 seconds. God, it really was almost 2 hours.
Yes. It's the shortest of the race.
It sucks. It sucks.
Or it's the shortest
so bad.
lap of the season. But it's not. It takes forever.
Anyways, P2, Charles Leclerc, gaining, losing none. And rounding out the podium is Oscar Piastri, also gaining and losing none. Max Verstappen rounds out the gaining, losing none, and finishes P4. And Lewis Hamilton rounds out your lead lap finishers in P5, having gained 2 spots. Everyone else is a lap or greater down. So, Isaac Hadjar, having lost 1 place, finishes P6. Esteban Ocon gained a spot, finished P7. Liam Lawson gained a spot, finished P8. Alex Albon gained a spot, finished P9. Carlos Sainz gained a spot, finished P10. I wonder what happened. George Russell gained 3 spots. Oh, I missed a point. Alex Albon is the first of the 2 laps down. So everyone him and on is 2 laps down. George Russell gained 3 spots to finish P11. Ollie Behrman gained 8 spots to finish P12. Franco Colapinto gained 5 spots to finish P13. Gabriel Bortoleto gained 2 spots to finish P14. Lance Stroll gained 4 spots to finish P15. Nico Hülkenberg lost 3 spots to finish P16. Yuki Tsunoda lost 5 spots to finish P17. And Kimi Antonelli loses 3 spots and gets the definitely not coveted and very rare 3 laps down in P18. Your 2 DNFs, Fernando Alonso losing 13 spots from his original starting position, and Pierre Gasly losing 3. Does that come as part of that? Sure. Your fastest lap came from Lando Norris on lap 78, last lap of the race, with a 1:13.221. Does not beat, I believe it's Lewis's?
It is Lewis's.
Lewis's record of 1:12.909. Yeah. Yep. And I think that goes from fastest lap to driver of the day. I voted Carlos because team game and backed up the entire grid like a fucking tractor on a 2-lane road in Tennessee.
I voted for Isaac Hadjar for kind of the same reason. They're the first ones that kind of started the team game. And since everybody did it, Isaac wins because he had that moment of not killing Yuki.
That is very true. Your driver of the day, Charles Leclerc, hometown hero, with 20.1% of the vote. Isaac Ajar got 16.8%, Lando Norris 14.6%, Max Verstappen 7%, and Lewis Hamilton 6.2%, with all others getting 35.3%. This race really was just popularity contest. What else do I have? Oh, I guess I should check and see if I can find my phone and see if the fastest pit stops have been uploaded.
I'm gonna say it's probably the Ferrari 2.0.
Probably is. Especially given they had already had a 2.0 earlier this season. So they were very rare. And wouldn't you know it, they are not uploaded. So we're going to say it's Ferrari.
It's
Good
Ferrari.
job, Ferrari.
Congratulations.
Woo!
You win.
Slow stop is Pierre, because fuck it. Why not?
Probably.
It's probably
Or Franco.
Pierre. Yeah, sure.
Or not Franco, sorry. Wrong South American driver. Gabriella. I'm going to do that a lot this season. Just bring Jack back. Easier to distinguish. Yeah. Let's do your 3 stars of the weekend, of the race, however you want to do it. I'll start with 3 stars, or the 3rd star. Speaking of, that game starts in an hour. Or now, depending, because I don't know if it was 3 East or 3 Central. But my 3rd star is the Red Bull boy, not Red Bull boy, excuse me. He put RB, and I was like, no, I never call Red Bull RB, so I won't make the mistake, and I make the mistake. V-Carb. They're the first ones to do it, but so honestly, the stars were kind of just like, again, nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Nothing fucking happened. So yeah, the RB boys, including, this is the one time I'll give Liam any kind of credit this year. It's his first points. Good job, Liam. Finally, it's race 8.
My 3rd star, same sort of logic. I gave it to Williams. It's controversial decisions, but you know what? A, I'm going to be a little bit biased, and B, they did it better. They kept the entire fucking pack backed up. It was an ugly race. We know it. The drivers know it. Teams knew it. I think they did what they could have with what they had. Racing-wise, it sucks. Strategy-wise, fucking brilliant. Can't beat them, join them.
Yep. They did indeed do it better. That's why they're my 2nd star for basically, doing it better. Also, anything to piss George Russell off. You love to see it. I really do. At least I do. I really do.
Fair enough. Yes, I agree with that. Sort of continuing off of this week's pretty much just probably going to be drivers plus team, because really this week was a strategy race instead of a race. 2nd star, Ollie Behrman / Haas. No points for the half bear, half man this weekend, but plenty of positions gained, 8 by my count. Excellent work by him, and excellent work by the American team to strategize their way into 12th. Yeah.
Where did Ocon finish?
Esteban Ocon finished P7.
Okay, so he did get points. I might have overlooked that. I probably owe Haas a star, but they're not my number 1 star.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable mention. Good job. I'm gonna go with the crowd, and as it was funny, it's like, yeah, that's why we do the stars. It's it's our control. It's like, no, it's not what everybody else also thinks. Even though my number 1 star is Charles Leclerc, because he did try really hard, and I can't give it to McLaren. So I can't give it to Lando. I can probably give it to Oscar, but I'm not giving it to Zach Brown. So my number 1 star is the Planet Sushi.
The world's most expensive Planet Sushi.
Next to the world's most expensive Shake Shack. Or not Shake Shack, Steak and Shake. Sorry, wrong one. Wrong steak and milkshake based casual fast food place. No, it's hometown Charles Leclerc, because he did try pretty hard, and I feel like he should have had that. But it's Monaco. If you don't have a 16 million mile an hour rocket ship, you can't do overtaking. So.
My number 1 star is going to be a bit weird, but I have my reasons. Gabriel Bortoleto / Kick Sauber. Started P16, finished P14 is not usually very star-worthy in and of itself, but that does not tell the full story of his race. Amazing lap 1 overtake. Great, good, wonderful.
One of 3 overtakes.
One of 3 on-track overtakes for the entire race, and one of those was, hey, give the position back.
Yeah. And the other one was a penalty.
Yeah.
A literal penalty. A blatant penalty.
Yeah. It immediately sort of gets pushed into the Armco barrier, drops to P20.
Puts that shit in reverse, Terry.
Yes, no, I get what I meant here now. I put the Williams strategy means he catches back up. I was like, you mean kick Sauber? No, the Williams strategy means that he catches back up. The 2 dropouts bring him to 18th, and strategy and clean driving bring him to P14. So honestly, great work by the tag team of Gabriel Bortoleto and the kick Sauber team. That's all I got.
That's Monaco, baby.
That's Monaco, baby!
You can take it up with my lawyer, Julian. Not Julian. Sorry, Jensen.
Yeah, Jensen.
I may have said the wrong one
hey,
earlier,
Jensen, you can get lost and go fuck yourself. Every time you're here, fucking Lando wins. Get lost.
Yeah. But they're all partying in the principality. God, they said that a lot, which, I mean, it's what it's called. It's a principality. It's like one of the only kind of things like that in the world. So, fair enough. We'll just talk about it. I don't think the 2-stop strategy was good enough. Yep. Perfect meme right there. If you go to our YouTube, you can see it posted. But it's basically, I can describe it. It is the skateboarding. Well, no, it's the stepping on the rake and hitting yourself in the face meme, where it's the first one is just stepping on it, and the second one is skateboarding to then also just step on it, hitting your face. But it just says 1 stop on the top and 2 stop on the bottom. So, yep. Yeah, not good enough, for my opinion. I know it's regal and great, but like, okay, cool. It's just tried it on Saturday. Cool. Let's just party on Sunday then. Let's have the Lego race. Fuck it. I was so tired.
I sort of thought about this. Everyone has their thing, their great way to fix Monaco and everything. Just do what all the other sports are doing. Turn it into just a little like event weekend.
Yeah.
Have pit stop competitions. Have a little like 10-lap sprint race. Fucking do a karting event or something. Yeah. Just something to break the monotony of this. It's boring. We all hate it. We all love it because it's Monaco, but we all hate it because it's Monaco.
Listen, it's awesome if you're wealthy and can go to Monaco to experience the fun.
Like Jeffrey fucking Bezos.
But for the rest of us normies and poor people who can only watch it on TV,
it's some of the
sucks.
best sleep that you'll get for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. No, it's just, yeah. I like you, and you've been saying this for a while. Just turn into the opening event of the season. Livery reveal parade. And then that's what I was thinking too. Like, yeah, let's add on a little sprint. Or, well, yeah, I like your idea of making like an all-star weekend. Like, hey, pit stop competitions. Or make it a mini, like, what, because like the NHL is getting rid of the all-star probably because the Four Nations face-off was so successful this last season. Make a little mini F1 World Cup out of it. Of course, it's going to be like 4 French drivers. America won't win, but you know, hey, that's what happens. You know? Bike race. Have Valtteri.
Yeah, bring Valtteri back.
Have a 2-team like mass bike race with Valtteri as one team captain and Seb as the other team captain. Yeah, something that's not, and I think the sprint can still count for championship points. The sprints are. There's points. It's only top 8, but it's still points. It still counts, technically.
You can do like a fucking 3-2-1 for the... Well, that's hard to do for... I guess you could do just constructor-only points for the pit stop thing. Just do like a 3-2-1 sort of thing. It's little tiny baby points, but it's points.
They can make a difference. That way it means something.
It'll get some of these teams to improve their pit stop game. Have better pit stops throughout the season as well.
Or even just make it just a quali. Just make it a super one-shot, like, do your normal qualifying rounds, and then make it a true qualifying where your top 10 does the sprint. Only. and your first knocked out are out, not just in P17. Again, make it like a pre-race, like before your first big race in Australia. Put Monaco in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what the weather's like, how different it is, but
I mean, it's France, basically.
it's French mountains. There's just, hey, is that a cloud? Boom. Rain. It's on the coast, there's clouds. It's a microclimate. All that kind of stuff. All right. Well, let's just call this because, let's move on with our lives. It is a triple header, and we have the most mid race, or the most mid circuit next week. Catalonia. Yes. Angry Cat. I can't remember what that cat's name was. I researched it last year.
I don't remember.
But yes, Angry Cat hours up ahead. I expect to see maybe some FP. Well, I say that. It would make perfect sense to be a good FP1 rookie session, but also it's upgrade season, so all your upgrades are also going to be coming to Catalonia next week. So
yeah,
who
baby,
knows?
that's what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, it's better than Monaco. Let's be honest. It's still mid, but it's mid and not Monaco. Sorry, Charles. Charles, if you want to prove me wrong by flying me out to Monaco to enjoy everything, then I'll change my mind.
All expenses paid.
Yes.
Because
a
burger will bankrupt us.
Yes. Yeah, it may still just be a steak and shake, but it's the Monaco steak and shake.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's move on to the next week. It's in the podcast here. Because you got events this weekend. It's also just Memorial Day, and actually get Memorial Day off for a change. It's nice.
Let's go.
I'm going to be doing housework. Cool.
Let's not go.
But yeah, I don't think we did a bad podcast here. I just feel like the subject matter was lacking this week. So
I mean, hard to make a 5-star podcast out of a 2-star race.
Yep. Anyway, on to a middle of the road 2.5 race. We'll see you.
Go Stars!
Woo!
Follow the pod everywhere at DSQ Pod.
Man, it sucks to be a Carolina fan, though. 0-14 in Eastern Conference final games. This is all this is after we'll just leave this in after.
Yeah.
There's your hockey. It's the pilot to the hockey podcast we've been talking about making it longer than probably this. Well, probably not longer, but